this little thing that we can kind of engage with our local listeners here. It is our text thing. And all you have to do to text is you dial 562-985-2282, and you can ask us questions. You can do whatever you want. Sammy from Kbeach yelled out and said, Wells Fargo stinks.
Sammy's on Mondays. He's a great guy.
Sammy's. And then we have Miss, what's her name? Ms.
Ms.
It's just Ms, right?
Yep.
And what show does she do?
She does Ms. Representing.
Ms. Representing.
Mondays, I believe, at 10 p.m.
Yeah, we're going to bring her. She's crazy. I'm supposedly I'm now her new husband. Did you hear this?
I did hear this.
Yes. I am now her new husband. She gets 80% of everything that I make. So
sounds about right.
It's not half like Eddie Murphy says. Half a day. Remember, half. You goony Google. Eddie, I want half your. We are part of the FCC now, so we have to watch our language. Although it is past 10. So what can we say?
Community standards have to be adhered to at that point.
So
if the local community, which is really K-Jazz, is the one who decides it.
Okay.
Whatever they says goes. So
George Carlin's 7 words probably wouldn't go well.
Exactly. Because technically our community is a jazz audience.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Jazz and conspiracy, they go pretty much
hand in hand. Hey, man, John Coltrane, while you're talking about 9/11.
Well, was it John Coltrane that did the Devil song?
Yes, it was.
It was, wasn't it?
It was.
He sold his soul to the devil, right? Yeah, John Coltrane. Yeah, he was like on the side of the road. He wanted to become famous. And so he sold his soul to the devil,
That's right.
And that was the show.
That's a long story,
Yeah. I remember that. I remember, the blues and jazz, man.
Collective unconscious.
Collective conscious, man.
That's just all it is.
It's all it is. It's all it is. So, anyways, let's see here. What should we talk about now? We've got about 15, 20 minutes left in the show here. You wanted to hit a little bit on policing.
Yeah, let's hit there.
Yeah, let's go there.
Earlier on the show, okay, so let me give background. My dad was chief of police, or my grandpa was chief of police in Ocean Shores, Washington, and Coffeyville, Kansas. Mm-hmm. My dad is currently a sergeant in Clayton, California. I have law enforcement cousins that work in the court system in Alameda, that work in Sacramento. So my family is heavily involved.
Cops.
Yeah, a lot of them. So that's my background. That's where I come from. That's close to me.
Right.
At the same time, our founding fathers said, no one can put themselves in our house and stuff like that. So they gave us that whole background of the police are there to do good, but they can't overstep their bounds. So I've always had those dueling philosophies going on in the back of my mind, Mm-hmm. But with things like Ferguson, the whole militarization of police, that is an issue.
Well, this is something that I maybe you and I talked about it, how Ferguson and the Bundy incident, mm-hmm. and how when law enforcement started heading towards Bundy, the militia, of course, was backing up the Bundy Ranch, saying, if you move forward, we're going to fire upon you. And actually, law enforcement backed away. But in the Ferguson incident, now we have a whole different view. We've got these little different environment. Looked like it was back in, the Watts things that happened back in the 1960s. Mm-hmm. I was like, am I in time travel here or what? But, this was a huge militarization. And this happened, now we've got all of this militarization of law enforcement. And, they've got the sound weaponry now, that they, and you kill your ears or whatever.
They burst your eardrums with that.
Burst your eardrums with it. And crowd control. I remember when I was watching, I was in Minnesota during the Obama McCain, when the Republican National Convention was in town in St. Paul. We had an incident there where there was looters and they were looting. And so the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department brought out all of their heavy artillery. Their militarized weapons, All of a sudden I hear out of nowhere, I'm hearing, Donny! And I'm looking around and I see all these guys in black. And there was my good friend, I'll just say his name was Chris, a guy I grew up with who was a Ramsey County sheriff, and he's sitting there and he's all ready to go in full gang task force gear, ready to bop some heads. And I was kind of taking a little step back by it. I'm like, wow, they're ready to be out in full force. And I think there needs, I I myself coming from a cop family, I remember the days of protect and serve. Seems to be going down the brutality side now.
I think it goes both ways, though. The minute a society is okay with blatantly disrespecting its police officers is the minute the people that are police officers become a little more okay with blatantly disrespecting the people. And it really goes both ways. The minute
sure. No, I agree.
And so the minute we go down and our music is very anti-police, it's only a matter of time before the police are anti-people.
F the police, kill the police.
Exactly.
Yeah, our so-called what do they call them? Role models.
Yeah.
Are
our
coming out. Our entertainers are coming out. And I think that's a sad state of affairs that we actually we're putting police officers in harm's way because of this. Because the gangs think that they can do whatever they want.
Exactly.
And I'll pop a pill in the do whatever.
And so whenever you have a people that disrespect the police officers, it's only a matter of time. Police officers have psyches. They're people. They're going to a job. Yeah. And at the end of the day,
they want to get home.
They want to get home
to their family.
And they're going to a job where they're like, I could be shot at today. And that's not necessarily unexpected. You go work at a radio station. I don't expect anyone's going to come in here shooting a gun or anything like that. I hope not, right? Now, police officers go to job.
That is bulletproof glass, right?
Now, police officers go to their job and they answer whenever that guy comes into your radio station. That is so much stress in itself that as a people, we should realize that.
Right.
And respect them in a way like, thank you for doing that for me. And if there's not that basic level of respect, it's hard for them to return the respect back.
I think there's a fine line, too. I think what we see in the media, we see a lot more of these some police that kind of go over and above what they should be doing. Like, for instance, that police officer that was beating the heck out of that young homeless lady recently. I mean, that was excessive force, way excessive force, and it was filmed and documented. But this is what we're being thrown at. 98% of the police officers that are out there are great guys.
Or gals.
Yeah, of course. And our PD right here on campus, fabulous guys.
Yeah.
And gals. Absolutely. Alasia yesterday got escorted up to class, by one of the LB in Long Beach police, and he seemed like a great guy. And hey, what's up, everybody? And these, we have to remember that these guys and gals are humans, and they are what they are. I myself have had my own problems. I'm a cop's kid, so when I have been, what's the word I'm looking for? I've been dissed by my people.
Right.
I take it a little personally. And there's a show I want to do all in regards to that. And when Chuck comes on, we'll probably get deep into that particular story of mine. But other than that, I got full respect for law enforcement and what they do, because we do need it.
We need it. And then what happens whenever society disrespects their police officers is the police become militarized.
Exactly.
We did it to ourselves a little bit.
We did it to ourselves, yes. And, we could thank our own American government for helping with that.
Exactly.
I took a criminology class last semester with Professor Pettit. And we talked about the cleanup in L.A. during the Skid Row area, and of course the cleanup of the New York system. I mean, think of all of the stuff that we have done, with police and law enforcement. I mean, New York is one of the number one safest cities to live in now. Because of the cleanup that who was the commissioner here in L.A., right? Who is the original commissioner in New York. And so now we have safe subway systems. We have, L.A. is not too bad.
It's a lot better than it was. That's for sure.
And I think, it's, but yet there is still some problems.
And another thing too is they're doing a job. It's same kind of conundrum you get with the military. Someone's doing a job. Someone's being told what to do and getting paid to do a job. The people who are making the bad rules, that's where the problem really lies. The police with the whole war on drugs. It really wasn't their choice. You gotta do what you gotta do. Exactly.
It was Ronald Reagan, and it was just say no, and there was a war on crack cocaine, and
right.
And I'm an advocate. Might as well legalize it all. because my dad was a narcotics police officer in the beginning, and I can remember when I was a little kid seeing all these drugs, and my dad would show, and try to educate me on drugs, because this is back when the DARE program was around and all of that, and and my dad was an advocate because he in Vietnam did a lot of drugs, but he had the
military's making them. Probably.
The military is the greatest, area to get influenced by these. These kids are coming back with PTSD. We've got officers that are coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq that are still have this mentality of go in, take it out,
and get
it done, and get it done.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're not training our officers to remember that we're American citizens here.
Right.
And I saw this recent thing, and this is on the flip side of things. I watched this police officer, and a guy was talking about his constitutional rights, and the cop turns around and says, "You know what? I don't care about your constitutional rights. That's not we don't follow those rules anymore."
See, that is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And this is all on video. We're watching, and then we see the people that are getting abused in the jails. There is a lot of abuse out there. I'm not saying that the police system is 100%
right
roses,
squeaky
clean. There's a lot of corruption in it as well. But at least it's not the SS, or at least it's not like what is taking place in Africa, or even the Mexican police.
Oh yeah, they're staying out of parts of the whole state.
Oh yeah, we are the less of the evils when
definitely.
It comes to
on our soil,
police
brutality
state.
And all that.
But yet we are definitely heading into a police state, and it's
with this militarization. Yeah, definitely.
We have to be very cautious. Well, anyways, why don't you? Since we kind of talked about that, let's talk a little bit about something really nice.
Yeah, let's talk about something nice.
Let's talk about something. Now, you're not doing a show, your own show, right?
I'm actually starting a show.
You are?
Yes, it's about the artist Prince.
The artist formerly known as?
Formerly known as, yes. Well, now again known as.
From my hometown, by the way. I'm from Minneapolis.
There you go.
Minneapolis, because I'm a raspberry beret.
Purple Rain and all that.
You find on the secondhand store. I can remember watching Prince. I went to the Purple Rain concert.
Okay.
That's how old I am. I was like 12. And my stepmom, who was my stepmonster, she was a Ramsey County sheriff. She served Prince.
Really?
Paternity papers.
That is crazy.
Hilarious. She said I was like a kid, and she said, "Yeah, I went and served Prince, and boy, I couldn't believe how little he was." And
he's like 5'2". He's a tiny little guy.
So, anyways, you're doing a show on Prince.
Yes, it's going to be. We have a Beatles show on here as well. So it's going to be similar to that.
Oh, very cool.
I'll be taking you through his life, teaching you certain things that he teaches through songs, why he wrote the songs the way he did, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, Prince was just on, I think it was a Craig Ferguson or...
Well, he's a conscious individual.
Well, he was talking about, chemtrails, and he was talking about the conspiracy theories, and, I believe, he's a very... intelligent man.
Very intelligent man.
Very intelligent man.
At some point as a creative artist, you enter this realm of genius or whatever you want to call it. And he's definitely one of them, and he's really opened his mind, especially after he became a Jehovah's Witness.
Right.
Interestingly enough.
Did you know, and I didn't know this, but did you know that Jehovah's Witnesses, who do their thing here in Long Beach every year, and I was over at the Hyatt one night, and they were doing their big conference down at the Long Beach Center, and they told me that they believe that in 1914... Sorry, I take that back. What was the first year of World War I? Was that 1914 or 1918? One of those. It was right in the. They believe, the Jehovah's Witnesses believe, that during that time is when Jesus Christ took the right hand of God, and the reason why we are in this area that we are in now is because it is now we have entered this whole Antichrist system, and that now we're in what they call the Daniel timeline, which is that 7 years of tribulation, which is what we're in right now. And this is what the Jehovah's Witnesses were talking about. And I remember when I was a little kid, I loved the Jehovah's Witnesses. They used to come by my house with the watchtower and all that stuff. I loved it, because it's very scientifically based.
Yes.
You know, you read a Watchtower and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, even if you get online now and read the Watchtower, there's a lot of